Want to go, pretty boy?
Two minutes by yourself and you feel shame, and then you get free.
The only thing better than a glass of beer is tea with Miss McGill.
And welcome to the Fourth Line Voice Podcast. My name is Darren. Thank you very much for tuning in. Episode 467 of The Big Show, some Enforcer-based podcasting coming at you, brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network. How's everybody doing out there? Yes, another Bloody Sunday here. I have a special guest today, Jordan the Moose Kennedy, Ice Wars fighter. He's been in a couple Ice Wars tilts, and we talk about those. And I don't know why it took so long to get Jordan on the show. Him and his brother Ben. Ben, we're gonna have to get you on here as well. But yeah, I've talked to them. I've met them in Edmonton a couple times after a couple of the shows, and finally managed to get Jordan on here. Great guest, fun guy to talk to, good dude. So we can talk about his how he got into Ice Wars and the net and Palominos, the Alberta senior hockey scene. We talked about that and a whole other, and a bunch of other things. So, what was it like fighting his brother in Ice Wars? That's quite the story. That'd be a little different. So we talk about all that, but he will be my guest later in the show. I talked to Jordan for about 35 minutes. So I'm going to yap at you about a few things here for a few minutes, and then we'll get into the interview. But like I said, I'm sure most people tuning in don't really want to listen to me anyway, but you're going to bear with me. I have some news and notes for you. And for those that are new around here, every once in a while, I'll open a pack of hockey cards. Yes, I'm opening hockey cards in an audio podcast. Makes a lot of sense, but we don't make a lot of sense around here sometimes. But they're old school packs. None of this new bullshit. Like we're talking, this is 1992. Yeah, I bet you this pack of cards is older than my guest today. I'm willing to bet. Well, if they're not older than he is, I bet you they're pretty close anyway. But yeah, and we will open those as well. But to start the show, like I said, member of the Hockey Podcast Network. There's over 100 and I don't even know how many shows there are. Over 100 anyway on the network. I'm on the original content creator side, along with Joe Lazito of the Coliseum Chronicles. It's a New York Islander-based podcast. Jolt and Joe, tremendous back catalog. Aaron Asham, Jason Strudwick, Eric Bolton, Mick Fakota, on and on. He goes off the island, folks, which he's been doing a lot lately, where he interviews players that obviously weren't in the Islander organization. But Joe is smarter than the rest of us, and actually took a summer break. Joe's like a teacher of podcasting. He gets the summers off. I think there's actually probably a few people that would wish I would take the summers off. Or maybe not just the summers off, just take it off. Yeah, they say take 2 weeks off, then quit. You should do that. But definitely check out Jolt and Joe's back catalog. Tremendous. Joe, I know we keep talking about it. I'll have to get you out of semi-retirement here and get you back on the air. Also, Terry, one of the... I'm just podcasting everywhere, folks. You just can't get enough of my voice. I do another podcast as well. I'm a co-host on the Bruised and Battered podcast with my co-hosts Alec and Jay, and it's a look at current tough minor league hockey. We cover all the minor leagues, and we talk about jerseys and signings and toughness, and we interview fighters. This week, actually, our guest is Sawyer Bolton. Speaking of toughness. And that was a great interview, but we've, right now we're going bi-weekly, but once the season starts, we go every Friday, or we release an episode every Friday, and, looking forward to getting back into the swing of things. Like I always say, it's amazing. I have 2 hockey podcasts, and I don't watch hockey, so look at me. Kids, you can accomplish anything if you set your mind to it. I should preface that. I will say, I do watch the fights. I mean, not as much as I used to, in terms of the current stuff, but I have people send me shit and they're like, okay, and if we're gonna do the show, it's like, okay, you gotta watch this fight, and I'll watch the current stuff. Like, there's guys that I do obviously want to pay attention to, Amesbury, Cade McNally, guys like that, guys that we've had on the show, Spencer Kennedy, stuff like that, Elias Thompson. I always keep track of them and how they're doing, and Yannick Turcotte and Nico Blatchman, and and that's the thing. As much as I'm the old man yelling at clouds sometimes on this show, and God knows I certainly howl at the moon sometimes, but I like to think I've always given credit where credit is due, and I've said these young kids bang, man. East Coast League's got some tough kids in there, and no deny. In the American League, Jake Doty, Travis Howe, Alec Gallant. I mean, there's no denying that. That they can fight. So, and I don't care what era you're talking about. So, I will certainly do that. Now, there's just not an abundance that there used to be. There are certainly very soft teams and everything else, and it's nothing like it was. Well, obviously, but I don't dismiss it completely in terms of there's just no one anymore. Well, there is, but just have to look a little harder. But no, it's. But in terms of the Bruised and Battered podcast, it's a lot of fun, and I just like being on the air with Alec and Jay. That's the fun part for me. I have more fun, before we get recording and after we get recording. Like, I have more fun off the air. So, yeah. I mean, we kick it around. We certainly we have the lighthearted. We obviously veer off and go on little rants, and we talk about the beer. We usually make fun of Jay's IPAs or whatever, fig nut ale or peanut butter and jelly dark roast or whatever he's drinking that day. We will knock him for that, obviously the famous Pop-Tart talk that has really taken a life of its own. And I think we're gonna have a fast food ranking one of these episodes, one of these non-season, these summer episodes. We're gonna do the fast food power rankings. So you don't want to miss that, folks. Let me tell you. And we're gonna rate some jerseys, but we just have a lot of fun. And like I said, basically it's just three dudes, sitting on the deck drinking beer and bullshitting. And then at the end, we'll interview a player. But the information, as much as we joke around and have fun with it, the information we give is solid. It's backed up. It's credible. We have players reaching out to us all the time, telling us. We have people within the league, different teams talking to us. I mean, we take our information serious. We're not TMZ. We're not just gossiping out here, or what we're speculating, or our hot take, or any of that. No, we take that shit. When it gets down to the news and notes and stuff, we're serious about it. And, and our player evaluations and everything else, and our interviews we take serious. So, that part of the show is serious, but we definitely have some non-serious moments as well. And I encourage you to check it out. I think we're about 37 episodes in. We started last year. And, it'd be great if you guys could give that a listen. The BREWSD, bruised like beer, bruised and battered. So that would be great if you could check that out. But, all right, moving on. Well, this past Friday, I had a successful live stream. We're back at it. Live streaming on the Fourth Line Voice YouTube channel. It's something I'm trying to make a kind of a weekly thing. Friday night fights, where basically I'll play a fight DVD, just some old school fights. And the first live stream I actually did was actually the Ice Wars show from Edmonton. I live streamed that when it came out. That went really well. And then I tried to basically play a couple assorted DVD, some from my fight DVD collection, and they quickly got the live stream got copyrighted and shut down because it was NHL footage that I was live streaming. So I learned a few lessons, and this on Friday I had created a playlist. Basically from the videos on my channel. Of course, if those listening that don't know, my YouTube channel, Fourth Line Voice on YouTube, I have over 2,500 fight videos on my channel from all different leagues and everything. So basically, I just did a minor league / junior fight clip and created a playlist. That was about an hour long, and just of random minor league and junior fights. And I had no issues, no copyright issues at all. Played great. Had I don't know, I think the max was 20 people or so in the chat at or watching at one time. And I mean, like I said, I'm not expecting we're going to get hundreds and hundreds or anything, and it's a growing thing, especially when the first two I did get shut down from copyright. That was a little, that kind of took the wind out of the sails. Like I said, in the live stream, it's a dead stream, but on Friday it was really successful. And then after the hour was up, we were kind of just sitting there, and then it was just my fat head on the screen, and people were joining the chat. They weren't leaving. So I was just like, well, does anybody have any questions, or what do you want to talk about? And there were some few people typing in the messages, and I answered a few questions, and we just were, basically I'm talking to a screen because they're typing in their stuff. But it was fun. And then, because my wife was still busy upstairs and stuff, so Jay quickly snapped off an American Hockey League playlist from his channel, and I played that, and I think we stayed for about another 40 minutes, and it was fun. And so I think it ended up being about a 2-hour live stream, and I think people enjoyed it. The feedback was really good. So yeah, going forward, like I've talked about it on the channel here a few times. Once the weather turns and everybody goes back to school, and life gets back to normal, there's no more summer vacation, etc. I would like to make the Friday like a regular Friday thing. This Friday coming up here is September long weekend, so my wife and I are leaving town, so I won't be doing a live stream this Friday. But going forward after that, it's definitely something that I want to do on the regular, and because I just think it would be fun, and and at the same time, I hope it grows my YouTube channel, and I'm trying to get my channel monetized again. And live streaming, YouTube really likes that stuff. So, like I said, I'm hoping to and not only the live stream, but if someone's new and they like the live stream, then maybe they'll come and check out the podcast, right? Or the Bruised and Battered show or something. So, and it's like anything, it's like an advertisement, right? So, but at the same time, I'm going to play some real cool fights, some really cool minor league and some junior fights. And like I said, I pick out ones that, I picked, like on the last episode, last live stream, I had Bob Probert's first pro fight in the American Hockey League. Had a junior fight of his. I had Ken Baumgartner with the Prince Albert Raiders, and Colton Orr when he was with Swift Current, and just stuff like that. I'll try to find unique stuff where it's like, it's not going to be NHL stuff, but, whatever, who gives a shit. But I'll, like, Tony Twist in the IHL, and just stuff like that. I'll put up some cool stuff and some maybe, like in terms of like hockey fight history, some like, I don't know what you would call it, some historic hockey fight, lore, some history. Like I said, Probert's first fight, pro fight, blah, blah, blah. Do shit like that. So, actually, I have Colton, now that I'm saying this, I have Colton Orr's first junior fight in the Western Hockey League. I'll put that up on the next stream. Off the top of my head, I can't remember who it's against. Chris Millett might be. But I will put that up, and just stuff like that. I have a John Morasti fight when he was 17 in the Kindersley Clippers in the SJHL in Kindersley Clippers training camp. So right from the Morasti family videos. So I'll put that on there, and like I said, it'll just be some cool shit. And so Fridays, like I said, not this Friday, but going forward with the Fridays, I'll put it up. I have always 9:00 Eastern. And I hope you come check it out and watch some cool fights and have some beers and join the chat. And we'll have fun that way. But another thing that we're having fun with is the 7th annual Bob Probert Invitational Tournament that's going on right now on my Facebook page, Fourth Line Voice on Facebook. You see a trend here. Every day we've been putting up a new round of fights. We're down to the Sweet 16. It's a March Madness style 64-man bracket that I just picked 64 of the NHL all-time NHL tough guys. It was computer generated in terms of the matchups, and then we vote 24 hours per fights, and we go by rounds, and we're down to 16, and it's been fun. Like I said, it's the 7th annual. 7 years ago when I started, I actually had it on Twitter. And that's when Twitter was really hopping, and it was hot, man. And that actually got my account really cruising. Because I was really kind of relatively I was going along okay on Twitter. I had a few, 300 or 400, followers, and whatever. But as soon as I did the Probert tournament, I ended up with like thousands. Because like I said, Twitter was really happening then, and people were really into it. And I did this tournament a bunch of years on Twitter, and people were really into it. It was a lot of fun. And I've done minor league tournaments, and I did a bunch of different tournaments, and people really enjoyed them. And then Twitter sucks now. I don't even go on it. But I just realized the other day that I finally have like polling options, voting options on my Facebook. I did, for some reason, it's not on my PC. My Facebook on my PC doesn't have the poll option, but on my phone it does. Facebook on my phone has it. Whatever. So anyway, I was like, oh cool, I'll do the Bob Probert. I'll bring the Bob Probert tournament back because it's been like 2 or 3 years since I've done it, and we'll do it on Facebook. So that's what we've been doing, and it's been fun. Certainly don't get the amount of votes that it used to. Like on Twitter, like fights would get 500-600 votes each. Now it's been about 150. So, but whatever. It's and the big thing is, as long as it creates conversation, that's the whole reason. Like, I don't give a shit who wins, doesn't matter to me. But as long as it creates conversation and gets people talking about guys, I think that's the fun part of it, right? It's just a little fantasy matchups and everything else. And with everything, as the internet goes, there's always got to be a few bozos that got to flap their lips about stuff and complain. And I'm like, I told one guy, you're complaining about a fantasy fight tournament, dude. Like, I don't know, go outside and touch grass or something. Like, get a life, man. And it's funny, and it's like, I always notice, like, especially when I put it up in a Facebook group, like, especially I'll have the bracket, and I keep it up to date with the current results, right? And each day after the voting's done on a certain group, I update the bracket and I put it up, current results. And you got guys with a little laughing emoji, and the one guy's like, oh, this went off the rails from day one, but this is just a disaster. This one clown's right, and I'm like, why? I'm like, did you vote at all? Have you voted? Of course, he doesn't reply. But I'm like, well, then go vote then, or whatever. Or somebody else is like, oh, this is a joke. Oh, okay, well, then don't participate, I guess, or just keep. Why did you bother? Like, it's just like, why? Like, why do you need to be? Like, what's the saying? Oh, you must be fun at parties. Like, really, it's a fantasy fight tournament that we're just having fun with. But you're like getting mad about the results and stuff. Like, who gives a shit, man? Like, I mean, it's one thing. Oh, I don't think he would win. I disagree with that outcome. Okay, but just this is just a joke, and this is so stupid. People don't know anything, and like, oh, who gives a shit, man? Like, I don't know. It's just so people are so fucking lame. It's just why I just don't understand. Like, why? And like I was Chris and I were talking about this, and Jay and I as well. I was just like, it's funny in these Facebook groups when you put stuff up and you see people complain. It's always the same guys that are complaining. And that's it. They don't bring anything to the group. Like, they don't bring any discussion. They don't create anything. You're just there to mope and sulk and bitch. That's all you do is fucking whine. In every the one guy I went and looked, I was reading like all the, you can go back and as an admin, I can look at his posts and stuff. All he does is, every post is, he's whining about something and complaining about whatever somebody else put. He's never created anything. Never created a topic, never created a discussion, never posted a video or a picture or anything that actually, you don't bring anything to the group. Like, you don't bring anything substantial. The only thing you do is just sit on the sidelines and bitch about shit. Like, you're just a whiner. And like I said, these guys, you're whining about a fantasy fight tournament. Like, that's where we're at now in 2025. We're just going to cry. And I can't believe Steve McIntyre's not in this. And where's Link Gates? Like, this isn't even a valid bracket. Well, I tried to pick guys that had more NHL games than minor league games. You know, Link Gates played all of 60 games in the NHL. Steve McIntyre played 90. You know, like, when I do the minor league mayhem tournament, they will be in it. You know, and it's not a knock on them, but that's just like, there had to be some criteria when I was making this. So it was just like, well, like NHL regulars is who's in this, you know, like, and McIntyre and Gates weren't. Again, I'm not knocking them, but it's just like, Should I put Mel Engelstad in or Jeremy Yablonski because they technically played in the NHL? Where's the cutoff? I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I guess I could have just done 64 of just toughest hockey people and had those guys in it. I guess I never put that much thought into it, to be completely honest. When I first did it, I was just like, yeah, I'll pick. Somebody mentioned 64. Taylor, I hope you're listening, Taylor. I hope you're doing well. Taylor, from back in the day when we were talking on, him and I were basically the ones that created the Bob Probert Invitational. It was on Twitter one night, and we were DMing each other. We were just really late one night, after we're watching hockey fight clips or whatever, and we're just bullshitting. And earlier in the day, I had done some poll on Twitter, like just a funny thing, who would win, Probert or Godzilla, or just something stupid like that. And then I think we ended up talking about March Madness. And then Taylor just says, well, you should do a March Madness bracket with fighters. And I just type, oh, haha, yeah, that'd be funny. And he's like, no, you should, seriously. And I was like, yeah, maybe. And he's like, yeah, no, you could do it on here. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I wake up the next morning and go and look at he's already done it. He's like, yeah, here, do this. And he's already shown me shit. And I'm like, yeah, fuck, you might be onto something. Yeah, so I made a bracket and put it up, and the rest is history. And even Bob Probert's widow thought. And then the whole thing is why I called it the Bob Probert Invitational. I was like, well, if we have Probert in it, he's going to win every time. Everybody will just vote for Probert and he'll win every time, and then what fun is that? So why not mix it up? So I'll call it the Bob Probert Invitational. So that's where that came from. And then Bob Probert's widow, Danny, got involved, and she really liked it, thought it was great. And I talked to her privately a few times about it, and his kids liked it, and it's just a tribute to their dad, right? And he's like, because he's widely known as the baddest dude ever. So I'm like, well, let's do a tournament named after him. And that's what this was all about. So like I said, it's just been a fun tournament to go on. Especially on Twitter, when it was really rocking on Twitter, because it was cool because you'd actually get some of the Darren Kimball and Scott Parker and George LaRocque and guys that were actually in the bracket were on there talking about it and stuff. And and it was fun, and like I said, there's always been bozos that would chime in, but if someone talks stupid, just like they do now, if they're disrespectful about shit, I just block them, because it's who needs that? Why do you have to be disrespectful? It's one thing to have a conversation. Oh, I think, Brashear would beat Parker, or Parker would beat Brashear, or Bugard would beat Berube. Okay. But you don't need to, he's a piece of shit, he sucks, and he's a pussy, and why? Why? So no, that's not gonna be, that's getting deleted, and no, you're not doing that. So we're kind of keeping this positive, and we're talking about the guys, and that's what it's about, is to, nowadays people aren't talking about John Winsick and Scott Parker and all those guys. They don't really get talked about that much anymore. So that's what this does. It brings back, and it creates conversation, content creation, right, is what we're after. So after listening to all of my babble about nothing there for the last 10 minutes, please go to the Fourth Line Voice on Facebook. The fights are up every day, usually about 5 o'clock. I'll put the new ones up. I don't know how to, that's the problem with the polls, is they're 2-day polls. I don't know how to change it to 24 hours. So at 5 o'clock, I just shut the poll off myself manually. But yeah, it's 24 hours. And like I said, by the time you're listening, by the time, this will be out in the morning. So yeah, the 16 will still be able to be voted on. And each day we do the results and then breaking it down. So what would it be? Thursday will be the final. So looking forward to it. So please get out and vote. Bob Probert Invitational. And last but not least, like I said, we're getting in. I'm going to interview Jordan Kennedy here, Ice Wars fighter. But before we do that, Ice Wars, the next event has been announced. That's a big one, folks. October 10th. It's a Friday at the Amarant Arena in Sunrise, Florida. And if you're wondering, Amarant Arena? Yes, that is actually where the Florida Panthers play. That's exciting. That's a big that's a big chunk to bite off. Obviously they're they have a floor plan. They're curtaining it off a bunch of it, but so I'm really looking forward to seeing what that looks like. But yeah, the main event has been now announced. Nick Laporte is taking on Quebec League legend Sebastian Lafreniere, who's got over 500 career fights. So he is and I mean, he has 40 fight seasons, and he's been doing this forever. He actually started way back when in 2004, 2005 as a 17-year-old playing major junior hockey in the Quebec Major Junior League with Rimouski, playing with none other than Sidney Crosby. The year they won the Memorial Cup was Sebastian's rookie year in the Quebec Junior League. So, and he's still fighting today, folks. At 38 years old, he played for the Quebec team in the LNAH, as well as played AAA down in the AAA league. So he's been fighting left and right. So, Nick Laporte's in one, man. Nick Laporte putting videos up every day, training, taking it serious, getting ready, looks in great shape. And, of course, he fought in Michigan and had a TKO victory over Matt Dunn. So we'll see. That's the main event, and the co-main event. The other main event is actually former UFC fighter Charles Rosa is apparently going to put on skates and take on Reed Kriskowski, who is from Saskatchewan here, and played some Junior B back in the day and some senior hockey. So this will be really interesting. I'm interested to see what Rosa can do on skates. Apparently he did play hockey growing up, so this could be interesting. That is the co-main event. Also, Catlin Big Snake is fighting Corey Allen. I'm really looking forward to seeing that one. That'll be a good one. And then get this one, folks. We're breaking barriers here. There is going to be the first ever Ice Wars female fight. Yeah, Christina Berry versus Valerie Rule. So that'll be interesting. I know I'm gonna do some deep dive, and obviously when we do the preview show and stuff, hopefully I can actually get the ladies on the show. We kind of like to do fight week, but leading up to the event, I'd like to get them on the show and just find out what led them to Ice Wars. But I know just on my brief search, Christina Scary Berry is a professional boxer, and she's from Winnipeg. And I looked at her. I don't want to say I was stalking her Facebook, but I was trying to find some background on her and stuff like that was available on social media, so I could do my due diligence. And there are pictures of her obviously on a rink and with skates on, so she clearly could skate. Well, I don't think you would sign up for it if you couldn't skate. And Valerie Rule, hopefully I'm saying that right. I believe she played hockey in Illinois I believe she was a goaltender. But I got to double check that. But initial look on social media, I believe that neither of them really have a big social media footprint. So I'm kind of sifting through here, and the information I got on their names, they spelt it wrong to me. So either I've got it spelt wrong and they were right, but it would make sense how the one I was looking up, because she's a hockey player. So I'm thinking I'm right at the spelling, but I'm going to double check all that before obviously I do my big preview show and everything else. But I just wanted to bring the information to you guys early here that, Sunrise, Florida, October 10th. It's a Friday. Amaranta Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida. So we'll see. I'm curious how it's going to go. This one, obviously, it's going to be on real ice for the first time, and it is bare knuckle. So we'll see how that goes. Personally, I think I'm not a big fan of the bare knuckle thing. I think that's, I personally think that's kind of ridiculous, to be honest. Punching a helmet for 3 minutes, but okay, it's not my hands. So, but yes, it is going to be bare knuckle. It is on ice, which I am a fan of, and so. Obviously, as we get closer into October, I'm obviously going to have more people on, and we'll have the fighters on, and you know how we do the Ice Wars stuff around here. So, we'll get into that. But should I open these? Yeah, let's open. I was going to say I don't have time to open these. Yes, I have time to open these cards. What are we doing? Where are you guys going? I have a captive audience right now, so we'll open these cards here. 92 Premier. Like I said, what do we got here? Trevor Linden. Captain Canuck right off the start. He got jobbed by Messier in Vancouver. Wendell Clark. Well, there we go. That'll go over there. Roddy Brindamore. Rod the Bod. Darren Shannon. Winnipeg Jets. Old William Chippewa's listening. He's already telling me to put that one aside for him. Brian Bradley of the Leafs. Neil Wilkinson of the San Jose Sharks. Steel Neil. Actually, underrated fighter. A little, he wasn't a killer or anything, but he was always around. He fought everybody. The old sandpaper D-man. I was down with Neil. He's all right. Mike Ricci. There you go. And, I think I've heard of this guy. Ray Bork. Old Ray. There we go. That's a nice little package there. There we go. All right. There we go. Some 92 Premier. Like I said, I think these cards are older than Jordan. So, all right. Well, folks, I will shut up now. We can get to the interview with Jordan Moose Kennedy. Like I said, good dude. I want to thank him again for coming on the show. It had been too long. That was on me, man. I should have been quicker on that. But I'm glad we could get you on. And anyway, folks, like I said, please, Fourth Line Voice on Twitter. Yeah, but whatever. Instagram. I'm trying to get into Instagram. I'm trying to get better at doing it. I don't know what it is, but I know that's the big one now. Kids are all on Instagram, on the gram. I'm trying to get better at it. But Fourth Line Voice on Instagram, Fourth Line Voice on Facebook, and of course my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like I said, 2,500 fight videos. Go down the rabbit hole. There'll be something you enjoy on there. If you want to look at the original Ice Wars, way back in 2005, it was called the Battle of the Hockey Enforcers, the Black and Blue tournament from Prince George. 2005. It's an awesome tournament. I'm not going to tell you who wins, but go check it out. And I have that parts 1 and 2 because I had to break up the video, but parts 1 and 2 are on my YouTube channel. So please go and check that out if you want to see the original Ice Wars, where it all began. And but yes, please do that. And if you're listening to the show on iTunes, Spotify, could you please download? That's how we get paid. Download, don't stream, as we always say. And please, the star rating at the top on iTunes or on Spotify, wherever, right before you play, you can see the star things. If you could rate the show, please, I would greatly appreciate it. It helps me in the algorithms, and it just helps the show out if you could do that. And other than that, if you want to drop me a line, my DMs are open, as the kids say, or if you want to email me, Fourth Line Voice, like 4th and then like line voice. At gmail.com. Send me an email. Drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you. And as I said, going forward, not this Friday coming up, but I will advertise it on Facebook and everything else. But I think we're going to be doing Fighting Friday. We'll play some, we'll live stream some fight DVDs. And like I said, we'll put some cool stuff up there, and come crack some beers and join the chat, and we'll have a lot of fun. But all right, guys, here we go. Here is my my guest, Jordan Kennedy. Enjoy. We'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks, everybody. All right, here we are in the Fourth Line Voice. I have a special guest, Ice Wars competitor. This interview, folks, has been a long time coming. We talked about it in Edmonton, and I got him on the air here. Jordan Kennedy. Jordan, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Hey, what's taking us so long to do this? I don't understand.
Oh, man. Life's been busy. I wish we would have got in after the first one when we talked about it. That was a long, long time ago. But we talked in Edmonton after the last fight and made a point of getting a hold of each other, and we're finally here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've had a couple Ice Wars battles over the years here, and we will talk about all that. And I'm going to get your feelings on the upcoming event here, but that was just announced today. But before we'll start at the beginning. Where'd you grow up? Where'd you play your minor hockey?
So I grew up in Calgary, Alberta, here in Canada. I played for a hockey association called Blackfoot Minor Hockey my whole life. When I got to junior, I went and tried out for junior B. I just moved out on my own, so I was 18 at the time when I tried out. I made the team, and it was either $1,200 to go play junior B on the fourth line, or go pay $300 to go play junior C with all my good buddies. So I stuck to junior C, and then hockey-wise, played men's senior AA out in that in a couple of years. A lot of good boys out there. Won a championship out there. That was a good time. But yeah, that's kind of my hockey background.
Well, I know the Palominos there in Nanton, the senior team that you're talking about that you played on. Well, I think you guys were the official supplier of Ice Wars, because I don't know how many guys from that team had McNeil, Otto, Czech, you, Schlepp. And I think
Schlepp, Schlepp's this year, yeah.
5. Yeah, I'm trying to think who else. There's got to be, and like you said one time, they were like, well, there's more. I can get more.
Oh, that's what it was. As soon as if anybody dropped out, it was always who could I find, and I'd always go back to the Palominos roster to see who'd be willing to come on out.
Yeah, well, yeah, and for those listening, we'll sidetrack from Ice Wars here for a second, but yeah, like as far as just, I think sometimes, especially my American listeners, I don't think they understand how big senior hockey is in Canada and how strong it is, and especially out west here. Like I know in Saskatchewan, there's like, what is there, 7 leagues? Like, and you got like ex-junior guys, ex-pro players playing in it, and like high level, like it's good hockey, really good hockey. And of course you got the Allen Cup, which is the senior Stanley Cup for senior teams and all that. But I know there's some really strong leagues in Alberta. And like folks, when we talk about senior hockey, I'm not talking like, the 9 o'clock drop in, no one wears shoulder pads, we don't hit, and no raisies. It's not nothing like that. Like this senior is serious shit. And it's like, how is the Palominos in that league? How is that league in terms of competition?
I mean, when I played on our team, we had, I believe, 3 kids that played WHL. There's, I think, 2, maybe 3 that played NCAA. A bunch of junior A kids. Like, it was super. I personally, honestly, didn't even belong there, but I did find my place on the 3rd, maybe the 4th line. But super competitive, really, really good hockey. I mean, obviously the best hockey I've played, but you could travel. I think this year it was from Cremona all the way up to Lethbridge, which is, I think, like a 3-hour drive, maybe a little bit longer than that. So, I mean, a little bit of travel to it, but yeah, good competition. I mean, you got 4 lines for, like, I think the average age of my team was 26 years old. I mean, Travis, Chuck, and I were the old boys sitting around 33, 32, I think, at the time. So, a bunch of young kids. But yeah, it's a really good hockey league. Fast, hard hitting. I played back in 2007 for a bit with Palominos. The fighting then was a lot different, a lot more fighting. I mean, now there's still fights. I mean, my second last game I ever played in that league, there was a line brawl, sorry. 5-on-5 line brawl. That's how I ended my career in NCAA. So, I mean, it's still there.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, I know out here in Saskatchewan, just around here in our area here. Yeah, there's one game. A couple good fights actually. The game I was at, and one guy was a former East Coast League guy, and Buddy picked the wrong guy to fight that night. It's like, don't fight the guy from the East Coast League. Yeah, you gotta read some hockey DB before you do that. But because he got tuned up pretty good, and these guys all got to go to work the next day. So, but yeah, it's hard hitting, and yeah, it can certainly get rowdy for sure. But I could back in the day, 07, the boys they were just living to fight and drink in that league back then.
Well, it's all old farm boys playing. Like, I know 4 of the guys worked on a feedlot. The other 4 more of them owned a farm or worked on a ranch. They're all big, tough farm boys that drank different water growing up that mutated them into machines. So, I mean, going out, we're playing against a lot of reserves. Like, those guys are all tough, talented hockey players. Some of the toughest guys I've ever fought against. So, yeah, it's. I mean, not only is it competitive, but it's hard hitting, and like there's some solid tilts out there.
Yeah, you're legitimately fighting the gyms. Yeah.
Yeah. Full team of gyms.
A full team of tough gyms. Yeah, exactly. Do you ever in that senior? Do you ever run into anybody like a named guy that you fought?
No, not really. I mean, playing on net, we were the team that kind of had anybody that played really good hockey. I mean, the guys that we had the dub, that was about it. The rest of the teams didn't. I mean, tough guys in the league, but like there was what was his name? Brooker, pretty young man. He played for Six Sick, a big boy, and he was a good hockey player. But every time I went on the ice, he wanted to fight me. But he was like Calvin Big Snake. He's 6'10", 280 pounds. Maybe at the time I was 210 pounds, and he'd skate out. He said, "Kennedy, we're going." I looked at him and I said, "I'm not stupid. Come on. Don't chase me anymore. I'm not fighting you. I don't want to go home in a body bag." So, yeah, there's a couple guys like that, real tough, but no, it's good. They were pretty good about it.
Yeah, Yeah, I just laughed. I can't. It was the last one. It's something about. I said it was something about Ice Wars. It was somebody from the Palomino. Oh, Schlepp. When they announced that Schlepp was fighting, I'm like, oh, another Palomino. And I think you were something like, yeah, it's like Lay's, right? Potato chips. Yeah, we'll make more. It's just like I got more coming, right? Like,
Yeah, it's actually funny because Schlepp, I didn't realize it. Like, I think I met him once when I went and watched one of their games, and then I see his name. I'm like, oh, Nat Palomino's cool. And then he goes out there, and my cousin Spencer Kennedy was actually his cornerman. And I laughed about that. I mean, I met him when he was a kid. He lived in Lethbridge. We lived in Calgary, so we didn't see each other very much. But yeah, it's hilarious that he was in his corner because I talked to him all the time, and I never see him. And yeah, he ends up being out there, so that was pretty cool. Run into him again.
yeah. Oh, so you are related to Spencer? Yeah, he's a tough kid, man. He just signed back with Kalamazoo here in the East Coast League. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. But yeah, he's a good kid. I've had him on the Bruised and Battered show. He's a nice guy. He was a great guest, and I know I was pumped to see that he signed again with Kalamazoo there last week. But he's a tough dude, man.
Oh yeah, I was just actually talking to him when the signing came across, and he's pretty pumped, pretty excited for him. But yeah, he's a big boy. His dad is a big man, Mike. He's like almost as tall as him, but just built like a brick house. And so yeah, like his dad's a big fan. But yeah, Spencer's he's such a nice guy, but he's just tough as nails.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Well, so the photographer, Mike Kennedy, are you related to him too?
No, I don't think so. We were trying to look back. I don't think we are. No.
Oh, it's Kennedy's all over Ice Wars here.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into your journey with Ice Wars, because we're talking about Schlepp, we just brought it up, but of course AJ fought in Edmonton in the main event versus Will Laporte. What did you think of that fight? I tell you, Schlepp surprised me. I thought he was going to get, to be completely honest, I know in our preview show, I kind of thought Will was going to give it to him, to be honest, and Schlepp was given as good as he was getting.
I mean, after watching Will's first fight, I was like, oh man, like, this guy's quick. He's tough. And then when he went out in that first round, the very start of it, AJ kind of sat there and took it for a minute. I was like, oh, this is not good. Then all of a sudden, he started coming back harder and faster. Like to take a punch like that and to be able to come back even harder. I don't know. Judges made the decisions, but I would have called it a lot closer. Like I thought AJ did quite a number. He did. That was a really good fight, in my opinion.
It was a great fight. Yeah, and hey, full props to AJ. And hey, there's another guy. Of course, he had a great showing and has now signed his first pro contract with the Monroe Moccasins. So good for him. I look forward to this fall to see how he does and wish him well. And yeah, man, it'll be. Because I know Laporte was the one that hooked him up with that because Will Laporte's friends with the coach in Monroe. And he phoned him and said, nice. I got a guy for you. Yeah, so... Yeah. The
guy you just made up, you got him a contract. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, 7 feet, and he's really mean. So, I'm like... Well, I remember, I think I asked AJ that afternoon when we were standing at the rink there, because I was going to try to interview him. We just couldn't get our times going before the Ice Wars, but we were sitting there talking. I think I asked him, like... It was either before or after, but I was just like, how are you not... You're 7 feet tall. Like, how has someone not signed this guy? Like, what do you like? Or do you not want to? Like, if you just said no, or no, like no one's really asked. Okay, like
here's your showcase.
Well, yeah, and like at that, whatever. I won't throw the team out there, but as he was fighting Laporte and I was sitting ringside, I was sending a text to a GM, and I'm like, I got you a guy if you like. Yeah, whatever. He didn't reply, and well, now your opposition's got him now, so good luck to you. But I don't know. But yeah, Laporte made that phone call real quick for him, and yeah, so good luck to
him. They're good dudes. I hung out with them after the last fight there in Edmonton for quite a while, most of the night. They're both great guys. They're good dudes.
Yes, absolutely. Well, yeah, okay. Well, we're talking about Ice Wars. Obviously, how did your journey begin to Ice Wars? Because I know, and the crazy story for the first one, of course, the very first Ice Wars in Edmonton, you end up fighting your brother. Before you tell that story, because I get some questions about that. How did you hear about it? How did you get in touch with Ice Wars? How did your Ice Wars journey begin?
Yeah, so I obviously there was that documentary with AJ there, and I had him on Instagram, and I see he put a post up looking for fighters in Edmonton. And I mean, I'm only 3 hours away from Edmonton, so that's when I was still playing for Natton, and right away sent a message. I said, "Hey man, I have a guy for you, Travis Check. The guy's an absolute machine." I sent him all his videos. I said, "Listen, this guy is your guy, especially with Edmonton. If you want to fight, take this guy." So right away, AJ said, "Absolutely." I got a guy for him. That's when he fought Bo Carnell. And so then I got Travis in. He said he needed some reps. I got Dallas Auto. My buddy Taylor got him in. And then I think that was it for that fight. And then AJ, I think a couple weeks before the fight, just said to me, he's like, "Hey, man, I had somebody drop out. Is there any chance you could find someone for me? I know it would be a little bit easier with you being in Calgary." And I just said to him, I said, "What? I'll just fight. I mean, I can fight. Why not?" So he said, "Sure, I'll try and find you someone." Yeah, so he got in that way. He found me a guy, and I think it was a week before the fight. He's like, "Hey, man, I got some bad news. The guy you're supposed to fight dropped out. Is there any chance you could fight someone or find someone to fight?" And that's when the story of my brother came around. I don't know if you want me to tell that one now or get into it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so it was about a week before the fight. My brother and I were sitting on the couch having some beers, watching the Flames playoffs, and AJ said he was supposed to fight backed out, and so my brother just floated the idea. He said, "Well, just tell him that I'll fight him, or that I'll fight you." And I said, "Oh, I'll try. I don't know if he's going to think of that." And right away, as soon as I said AJ, I said, "I'll fight." My brother wants to fight me. He said, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, "It reminds me of Kane and Undertaker. Absolutely, done and done." So I told my brother that. We were just kind of like, "Oh, I didn't think you'd actually go for it," but he stood up. I remember I picked him up before the fight. I met him at my mom's house, picked him up, and my mom said, "We're leaving the house," and she goes, "Jordan, do not kill your brother." And so, yeah, picked him up, took him out, and that's how we got into that.
Okay. Well, that I laughed. Of course, AJ's got to compare it to WWF somehow. He's got to get his wrestling in there somehow. I love it. Okay, so now you got to fight your brother. Like, this has got to be, because I have a younger brother as well, and it's like, okay, I couldn't imagine going on pay-per-view, standing across the rink from him, and now we got to fight. And because, like you said, it's your brother. You don't want to hurt him, but at the same time, it's a fight, and you want to put on a show, and you're geared up. I mean, at the end of the day, it's adrenaline, and you're geared up to fight. What is going through your head at that point? And actually, hold on.
Okay.
Before that, I got to back up, though. As far as Ben goes, like, was Ben... I want to get Ben on the show, too, and unfortunately, we couldn't get you both on at the same time. But it was like, what's Ben's background, too? Like, was he a hockey player? Was he a kind of a fighter, tough guy, too? Or, like, what's his story?
Ben, growing up, I don't think he ever fought. He was... So, I have two older brothers. My oldest one's Dennis, and then Ben, and then I have a sister, myself, and a little brother. So, our oldest brother was a tough guy. He would fight anything and anyone, including goals. And then there was Ben, who was a talent guy, who never fought, never hit, like, unbelievable hockey player, had some of the greatest hands I've ever seen. And then they called me the hybrid. I was the mix between Dennis and Ben. I could fight anyone, and I could score a couple goals here and there. And so Ben knew very well going into that fight what was going to happen. I mean, when I was 16 years old, he used to call me out to his men's hockey league, his beer league nights. Did one to go fight for him because a guy the game before cross-checked him in the throat. So, I mean, when I was at the age of 16, I was fighting grown men, but that's just what I did for him, I guess.
Okay, so now we're across from him, and you kind of, like you said, going through your head, it's like, I'm going to smoke him here, but I don't want to kill him, obviously. But, so what happens? Because for some of the viewers, obviously people listening I know what happened, I was there, but how did it all go down? What happened, and what was the aftermath?
So that was the first Edmonton show, and I remember they made us all get dressed in the same dressing room on the side of the building. That was a little weird, in my opinion, but so we got dressed across each other, whatever, and then the fight before us was just finishing up, so we were at the door to go out, and he gives me a big hug. And after we give each other a hug, we look at each other, and right away we're like, you're dead to both. Like both of us knew we were just gonna do everything we could to hurt each other. We love each other an insane amount. Like we're best friends. So when it came down to that, we knew we had to put on a show. So we went out, and I kind of so he knows I'm a southpaw, and I told him like I'll throw with my right only. And I went out. The first thing he did is he punched me right in the earlobe, and I had two fuses just cross. And so I went to grab him with my left hand to punch with my right, but what I did, his jersey ripped right down the front of it, probably 4 inches. And then I just started throwing left, right, left, right. And I mean, again, trying to use that synthetic ice, every time I throw a punch, my foot would slip out. But it hit me in the earlobe, and then he hit me in the collarbone. And I just seen red and just started throwing punches. And then I was going left, right, left, right. And it was so funny because after the fight, so left, right, I remember I hit him a couple times. He hit me. I hit him a couple times. He went down. He got up again. Hit him a couple more times. Went down. He got up. And then that's when he got up one more time. And I think I went left, right, and then a left one. And that's when he went down. Pretty sure he knocked him out, but we don't talk about it. We're not 100% certain. But yeah, that final left when I knocked him out. And he said to me, first thing he says after the fight, he says, "You son of a," he's like, "You told me we weren't going to throw any lefts." I had no option. Couldn't hold on to your jersey. It's all I had.
What did Mom say?
My mom grew up playing hockey, and she was the top one playing even girls hockey. She played some boys hockey, but she was the top one. So she knew what was going to happen, and she just said, she's like, "I'm happy you didn't kill your brother." She's like, "But I don't ever want to see that again." But she's a hockey girl through and through, so she knew what was going to happen. She was watching it. She wasn't disappointed, to say the least.
What? Well, I always liked it when I talk to guys. I always like getting that. What was the family like? Your brother and your sisters and stuff. What was their reaction when you said like, "Hey, I'm going. We're doing this Ice Wars thing," and then later on you fight again, like in this last one. What was their reaction? Like they just kind of like, "Oh, well, that's just Jordan," or is it like, what's their feelings on the whole thing?
Yeah. So when I fought Ben, it was kind of funny because. Everybody's like, "What are you doing, Ben? What are you thinking? Like, that's just a terrible idea. You know what's going to happen." And like, so they kind of gave Ben the ears for that. I mean, for my second fight most recently here, my sister was a little upset. So my brother, I was actually just on vacation for my brother's wedding a couple of weeks ago. So about a month and a bit before his wedding, I was the best man at his wedding. My sister's like, "What are you doing fighting a month before your brother's wedding?" I just said to her, I'm like, whatever, if I get a black eye, it'll be gone in a month. I'll be okay. So other than that, they kind of like my wife, she's not a huge fan of it, but she just knows that that's the way I am. And I tell her I'm doing it. She kind of just, okay, I guess so. But I mean, she knows she's not too worried about me.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, yeah. So, well, hey, props for Ben, man. I mean, you were walking the plank. You knew it was going to happen, but you did it. So, I mean, that's more than most dudes will do. That's for sure.
Well, he had a sniff at it. I know he's starting to train. He has been for a bit, and he wants to. He's really keen on getting into shape and trying. He wants to fight again. So I know he's on the path right now to get there. So we'll see what he does here. Hopefully, he can maybe get a shot to fight someone else.
Yeah, well, like I said, when we were talking to Edmonton after the last show there, when you two were at the bar and we were talking, yeah, I know Ben said he wanted to, get back into fighting shape and give it another go. And, so we'll definitely get Ben on the show here too, and we'll talk to him. But, there you go. So that's the first Ice Wars. At that point, just because it was a whole new thing, Ice Wars is brand new, and I mean, obviously you're in hockey, involved in hockey in the hockey world, and you talk to the boys and everything else. What was initially? What do you think the reception to Ice Wars was, and what do people think about Ice Wars in general in your circle?
So what I got from it was. The guys that like to fight in hockey love the idea. They wanted everything to do with it. Maybe more talent guys didn't care much for fighting, thought it was a little bit silly. But then a lot of people that just watch NHL, maybe even old school hockey, I felt like they loved the idea. They thought it was a great plan, a great idea, and that it's going to get huge. It's what their thought is. I know, like I said, a lot of guys that are more skill-based guys, they think it's a little bit silly. But the perception I got from it, majority really loved the idea of it, like the fighting aspect without the hockey, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the feedback I've gotten, and same thing. Obviously, being on social media with the podcast, I might reach out to a lot of people, talk to a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the reception. Of course, the people listening to my show are hockey fight people, so I sort of have a biased demographic. But at the same time, I have listeners too that aren't into it. They're kind of like, it's kind of whatever, staged cockfights or whatever you want to call them, but it's whatever. And that's fine if they don't like it. I get it, but it's no, and I think it's it's right there. I think in terms of what it could be to build up. Whatever. Well, there's been some missteps in my opinion too, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, but I think in general, like just the basic concept of it, I think is a good one, and I think it could definitely grow.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as and of course the event that just got announced, of course the Florida event here. Well, of course, I'm getting ahead of myself. Hold on, we'll talk about your next fight. So, Ice Wars kind of goes away for a couple years. Well, you were supposed to fight in the second one, and your guy didn't show up, and this time you were kind of really ready for it.
Yeah, so after the first one, I had to train for 6-7 months, I think around that. I actually went hard. I trained quite a bit, and then the day of the weigh-in, he didn't show up. He said he'd be there the morning of to weigh in before the fight, and he just no-showed. So that one was tough because the 2 fights I've actually fought in, I've only had a week's notice. And then the one that I actually trained for, the guy didn't show up. So that is a little bit is tough, but I mean, it's the way of life. So
yeah, I mean, that's got to be frustrating though. You put that much effort into it, and you're getting ready, and you're mentally the build up to it, and the anxiety that comes with it, and everything else. And then the guy no-shows. Oh man. What a kick in the ass. But you were saying AJ took care of you, though, regardless?
Oh, yeah, big time. AJ, he's always had my back since day one, which has been nice. He's easy to talk to, anything you need. Like he kind of explained to me with him owning his own boxing gym, and he has fighters that go to fight, and they go to events, and the other fighter doesn't show up, well, they're kind of shit out of luck. They don't really get anything out of it, but he still took care of me. He made sure that I was happy that weekend. He even let me go on the panel for a bit, even to talk to my sponsors. Like he made sure that I was taken care of, which was huge to me. The guy he's done nothing but try to make me happy, which I really appreciate.
There we go. Yeah. Well, and then of course they had the event in Wyoming, and then of course it went black. And we didn't have Ice Wars for a few years, and then it makes its big comeback. They had the event in Michigan, and then of course last year on June 29th they were back in Edmonton at the River Cree, and we see Jordan Kennedy again. And this time taking on Sebastian Waugh. He's 48 years old, but a former Quebec League LNAH guy, played in the Quebec Junior League back in the day, has had a million fights and is a tough dude. And again, go through this process. Okay, they make the phone call. Jordan, can you fight again? And this is who you're fighting. Did you go through all that again?
Yeah, so it's same situation again. I mean, I couldn't do their job trying to find fighters because, again, AJ's like, yeah, I got a guy for you. I got a sweet. And then I think a week, maybe, that's probably like 2 weeks before the fight. Got a guy for you, and then a week before the fight, oh man, this guy just dropped out. And then he came to me about a day later. He said, hey, I got you this guy. Here's his name. And as funny as it is, I don't know if it's because it was a week before the fight, but I didn't even look him up right away. I just said AJ. He said, doesn't matter who it is, just I'll fight him. I don't care who he is, how tough he is, just I'll go on the card, I want to fight. Then afterwards, I look him up, and I'm looking at all his numbers, and it's like, holy, this guy's been in a couple tussles. So a little nervous going into that, but then I get to Edmonton, we do the weigh-ins, I meet him. The guy's hands, one of his hands is the size of both my hands put together. Like he's an absolute beast. Nice guy. I mean, I got in, like, we meet him at the weigh-ins, do all that stuff. I kind of get myself into a mode when I get into a fight. I kind of get into my zone. I do my own thing for the day of the fight. I kind of just go into a zone, and then getting down to the fight, I mean, I got a little bit nervous. It was a little bit more of a show this time, a little bit more into it. But yeah, getting out there, looking at him across, he looked like a mean man. But I mean, going into it, I knew how he fought, and I just knew how to play the defense to start. And I knew where to grab him so he couldn't throw his strong left and switch it up, throw my left, and it ended up working out well. I mean, minus the fact he hurt his shoulder there, which was unfortunate. I mean, again, this is 2 fights that only went 1 round, which kind of sucks. I'd really like to fight someone that can go the full length with me without an injury. But I don't know. Hopefully, we'll see another return here soon.
At any point did he rattle you at all with a few?
He did. He caught me once, and it's actually funny if you watch when I skate back to the corner. It looks like I got knocked. Like he hit me hard, and I was dazed. He hit me probably 25 seconds into the round, and he rung my bell like he hit me. I was like, "Holy, hold on here." But yeah, when I walk back to my skate back to my corner, it looks like I'm like way out of it, but it wasn't. It was that synthetic ice. It caught my blade and threw me off balance. My brother tried to grab me. He's like, "You okay?" I'm perfectly fine now. I wasn't 30 seconds ago. Yeah, he hit me once real good that I still remember that feeling.
Yeah. Folks, go back. Of course, it's on the show is on YouTube on the BKFC Iced Wars YouTube channel. The Edmonton event. Go check it out. 1 round, and I'm like, it might have been the best 1 round of the show because you guys went toe to toe and put on a show. And like we said, Sebastian Waugh, full marks. Like I said, I'm 49. I couldn't imagine going toe to toe with anybody at this point in my life, and he's out there and under the lights fighting. And this guy, like you said, we talked from Quebec, man. That guy fought Link Gates and shit. Like that guy's like the legitimate dude, man. And
he's got a record for sure. That guy's names, and like I said, he's to come out at 48, put on a show like that. Like props to him. He is a tough man.
Oh, absolutely. And and that was a great first round. And I was like I said, I was sitting there ringside. I was pumped for you because I know we had talked before, and I knew all the shit you had gone through, and going to get for the first couple fights and everything else. And so I was pumped for you. And hey, I'm just saying in the preview show, I picked you. You can go back and listen. I took you. Damn it! Why is this fight not on Sports Interaction? They need to get that betting going again. I would have made some money on you. But
I hope they do. I hope the next event they have something like that. Somebody can bet on and be beneficial for everybody. I think really. Yeah,
well, the early Ice Wars, you could bet on them because I made some good money on that stuff. And then these last couple, I know they have the Sports Interaction sponsor, so I really hope that they get the fights up there to bet on because that'll be a lot of fun. But like we were saying, the Florida show just got announced today, and it's I don't know, I can't remember the name of the arena, but it's where the Florida Panthers play. This is where apparently October 10th. That's a Friday. Jesus, I don't know about having it where the Panthers play. That'll be crazy, but it is on real ice, and it is bare knuckle. What's your take on that?
To start, I'm a huge Florida fan, so I think it's pretty cool to be in that arena. I mean, if you can fill those seats, that'll be pretty impressive. That's going to be a big crowd. Bare knuckle. I have my thoughts about it. I don't know. I've broken both of my hands, one of them on a helmet, so it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. I don't know personally if the bare knuckle is the way to go, but who knows? Maybe it might work out. But I think being on real ice is a huge game changer. Since I was 16 years old fighting on ice, 15 years old, you try to go to that synthetic stuff, and it's nearly like I found every time I threw a punch, my foot would slip out. So I think going back to real ice will make a world of difference. I think there'll be harder hits, there'll be more control. I think there'll be less people falling over. I think it'll be a big advantage for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree with you. And I'm going to say it my own set. Personally, I think the bare knuckle is ridiculous, but that's just my opinion. But I'm not the one having to punch and fight, so it's easy for me to sit behind a microphone and say that. But I don't know. I think it's crazy that they're going bare knuckle. But I am pumped that it's on real ice. That'll be awesome. And I hope the Florida event works out. And I think it's a big ask to go into that big arena like that. But I hope it works because I think that'd be really cool for you guys. I mean, to fight where the Panthers play. That's pretty badass, actually. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you can fill that arena, if you can fill those seats, however many they end up doing, I mean, yeah, if you can fill those, that could make this thing take off like crazy. So I hope it works out. I hope they can get the advertisement out there. I hope they can make sure they promote it good and get those seats filled. And yeah, I could see this thing definitely taking off if that all works out.
Yeah, well, and I know they're kind of still building the card and they're still talking. I know you haven't been contacted yet, or you might have been, and they, they're kind of, well, we'll see, whatever, how the fight game goes. But is it something you're willing to do again? You're ready to go?
I mean, if I get a phone call, if all the stars aligned and it works out, I probably wouldn't say no. So I know right now I'm on the back burner. If something lines up, then I might get a phone call. But I mean, we'll see. I also wouldn't mind seeing how this bare knuckle goes, but at the same time, if I get a call, I'm probably going to go.
There we go, folks. Well, man, I know we've talked for a long time here, and you got things going on, and we've gone for 30 minutes already, so I'm not going to keep you any longer. But yeah, just any. I want to thank you for taking the time tonight to come on the show, and we're going to get your brother on here at some point, and as the event gets closer, maybe we'll have you on, and when we have the card announced or whatever, maybe we'll get your thoughts on it and maybe we'll get Jordan's picks to click. Maybe we'll get some betting picks going, and we'll do all that. But yeah, other than that, man, hey, I really appreciate you taking the time today.
No, I appreciate you having me on. I know a lot of my guys have been on here. Travis talking me up, so no, I appreciate you taking the time, especially at the fight, to come say hi and have me on your show. It means a lot.
No, actually, no. It's all pleasure's all on this side of the microphone for sure. And you and your brother, good dudes, man. I enjoyed having the beers with you at the bar there. And hey, man, hopefully, hey, they do Edmonton again, and we can get back in person and do it again. I would look forward to that. No,
for sure. Likewise. Hopefully, somewhere here in Canada that's feasible for us all to head to somewhere, of course, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, okay, before we go, I know you're a Flames guy.
Well, so since Matthew Tkachuk, and everybody's going to say bandwagoner, but ever since Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Bennett played for the Flames, my first jersey I ever owned was a Sam Bennett. First jersey my wife ever owned was a Matthew Tkachuk jersey. So when they both got traded, we both, I mean, like I said, call it bandwagoner, but she actually watched, I think, 98% of the Panthers games last year and the year before. And the years before that. But yeah, I mean, we are still Flames fans, but probably more leaning towards Florida for the last, when did he get traded? 5 years ago?
Well, see, I don't follow the NHL anymore. I'm so bitter and stuff. I'm so far back in the past. I think I stopped when Iginla was playing. That's when I was, Rocky Thompson, I think, was the last Flames game I watched. But how did the Flames make that trade? Why do you do that? Why?
It was the worst possible trade they could have ever made. I mean, either way Tkachuk was going, I don't know. That's when their whole team kind of imploded, and that as soon as that happened, I knew it was rebuild stage.
And of course, you being in Calgary, Calgary and Edmonton, obviously, Battle of Alberta and everything. That still cracked. Was it you or was it your brother that came out with the Flames jersey at the Ice Wars in Edmonton?
That was Ben. So actually, the two guys that were in his corner were my buddies Reed and Liam, and I think one of them was, Liam was holding the Calgary Flames jersey, and I thought he was going to get a beer can thrown at him.
Yeah,
out of that, because that's when they were in that first. That was the first round they were playing, maybe second round. But yeah, I remember that. I had a good holler about that.
Oh yeah, well, like I said, I was in the obviously I'm in the crowd, so it's all around me. And they were hot, man. I'm like, look at these guys creating heat. I love it. Yeah.
Put on a show what they want.
Oh, I laughed even at this last Ice Wars when they're announcing you. As soon as they said Calgary, Alberta, all the boos started. They were already booing this guy. He's from he hasn't even fought yet. They just hear Calgary and fuck this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good thing it wasn't playoff time. It might have been worse. The Flames didn't make it, but.
Yeah. For these last few years, it's been a little rough for sure with the whole Calgary Oiler Flames feud. Isn't much of a feud these days.
I'm just happy they didn't win the cup.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
There you go. Yeah, as long as you got that goalie, you ain't winning nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan. Well, I'm not going to keep you any longer, but I appreciate you tonight coming on, and have a good night, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, right on. You too. Thanks.
And you people that don't like fighting, how many of you did you walk out and get a coffee while that was on?